page that you see here, use during your do nows. Oh, which reminds me, use this for your do nows. You are going to have a quiz on Friday. Some of you who didn't do a great job on last Friday's quiz, this is your opportunity to do better on this one. So let's talk about quiz on Friday. What's going to be on your quiz? Mean,
median, mode, and range, and outlier.
Median, mode, range, and outlier. And I'm going to throw in some trapezoids because we didn't do such a great job, so hopefully this time around we do. And fractions, which is what we're going to review today. Okay, so that's what's going to be on your quiz on Friday. So I'm telling you today, Monday, you're going to have a quiz on Friday. Grades are due Friday. So mean, median, mode, range, outlier, trapezoid, and fractions will be on your quiz on Friday. So review. You're going to have some of this on your homework to review. So let's get all of this, make sure we understand this perfectly well. All right. I'm going to try to remember that while you're working on your classwork to pass out a little Post-it. And then you can put it on your do now because now we're like really into our notes and it's kind of hard to find our do now quickly. So I'll pass out some Post-its later on. Remind me. Okay. So today we are going to review how to add and subtract fractions. I call it review because you kind of learned this in 5th grade and 6th grade. The only reason it's in 7th grade is because we're going to add some negative numbers to it a little bit later. So today is the 16, and we're going to be adding and subtracting fractions. Adding and subtracting fractions. So our notebooks are here, iPads are off. All right, does anybody remember what's the first thing you have to do when you're adding fractions?
No, find a
Common denominator. Yeah. Now, back in the day, this was August 21st. This was your homework about a month ago. You had problems like this at the very bottom. And some of you, most of you did a great job here. What's our answer? If it was 2 7s plus 3 7s, what's your answer?
5 7.
Yeah, like you got 5 7s, no issues. But then all of a sudden, when I gave you a problem like this, you guys did this. Not all of you, but this is a mistake I saw. Okay. So all of a sudden, like here, you knew that you weren't supposed to add these two, right? You knew it. But then all of a sudden when they were different, you were like, oh, let me just add them. And I'm like, wait, why would you add them if they're different? You didn't add them over here, so what made you do it here, right? So I saw this mistake, not by everybody, but this is one of the mistakes I saw. So we are not going to do this. This is not the right answer. Okay, this is wrong. But this is a mistake I saw from 7th graders this year. They're just added. And I was like, no. So we're going to review today. All right. So like you said, what's the first thing I have to make sure that I have? Common denominator. So have common denominators. Denominators are your bottom numbers. Denominators are your bottom numbers. So have a common denominator. So denominators that are the same. All right, number 2. Do not add or subtract the denominators, okay? These are very simple notes here. I'm assuming you know how to do all the detail stuff. These are just like, hey, reminders, find common denominators, and do not add or subtract the denominators ever in your life. Never. Never, 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 never. Okay? All right, here we go. Let's see if we remember how to do these. 1/8 plus 5/6. 1/8 plus 5/6. Okay. Are the denominators the same? They're different. We have an 8, we have a 6. They're not the same. We have to find a denominator that is the same. So what does 8 and 6 have in common? 24. 24 is my winner. Does 48 work? Yeah, but it's just too big. I don't want to deal with 48. Because then you're going to have to simplify. We want the smallest number possible. So it is 24. Now you might be sitting there going like, how in the world did these guys get 24? And why is she not using 48? How did they get 48? This is what we did. You take 8 and 6 and you don't multiply it together because then you end up with really big numbers. No one wants to do that. Start multiplying by 8. What's 8 times 1? 8 times 2? 8 times 3? 8 times 4? 32. Now let's multiply by 6. 6 times 1? 6 times 2? 6 times 3? Do they match? No. Keep going. 8 times 4? Can I stop? Yeah. So as soon as you see that they have something in common, they're the same, we stop. So this is what I wrote down. Tiffany, we're going to write this down. This is just to show you. Now, some of you can later do this in your head, which is fine. I want everyone to write it down right now. And then hopefully everybody does this in their head, hopefully by the end of the week. You can do this in your head. If you can't, at the end of the week, just keep writing them down. You can also use multiplication table, right? Go to the 8, go to the 6. What number do they both have? They both have the number 24. Do they have other numbers? Yes, but we want the smallest number possible, which is 24. That's what we're going to use. So I'm going to set and do my work on the side. Okay, what number am I going to use?
24.
So that's my new denominator. So this is the word that Miss Lamar is going to be grading. So Chris, write all of this down. All of it. Everything. Even the circle. Okay, this is the most important part. You have to ask yourself, what did I multiply 8 to get to 24? 3. So if I multiply the bottom by 3, what do I have to do to the top? Multiply by 3. This is the mistake I see though. Kids will be like, oh, Miss Amelie, don't I just put a 1 here? And I'm like, why'd you do that? Well, there's a 1 there, so can I just move it over? Nope. Because you moved it here, because you changed it here, you went from 8 to 24, I have to change the top as well. So the 1 is not okay. You have to multiply by 3. What's 1 times 3?
3.
Yay! So this is our new fraction, 3 over 24. Okay, now the bottom part. You have to ask yourself, 6 times what number equals 24? Very good, 4. So we multiply the top by 4. This was a giant 1 in 6th grade. I know you guys did giant 1s in 6th grade, so this is the same thing. You're doing it from 6th grade, the giant 1s. 5 times 4? 20. So now do we have common denominators? Yes. Did we change our numerators? Yes. So all of this we no longer need. That was all just showing work. These are our new problems. So what's 3 plus 20? 23. So our final answer is 23 over 24. Can I simplify it? Nope. So we are done. All right. Catch up. Okay, here we go. Are we okay with this? All right. Ay, te digo. Okay. All right. 2/3 minus 7/12. Okay, so now it's a minus. Does the work change? No. Just at the end, you're going to subtract, but the same amount of work. 3 and 12 do not match. 3 and 12 do not match. What number does 3 and 12 have in common?
14.
12.
It is 12. So, how do we get 12?
Times 4 times 4. So don't multiply. 3 times 4. 3 times 4.
Yeah, we're going to multiply by 12 and by 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2, 6, 9, 12. 12 times 1 is 12. That'll, eventually, we're all going to get to the point where we can look at these two numbers, right? And just call them out, and that will make your teacher so excited. But for the next two problems, we're going to show our work. Now, so this comes from your multiplication table. So you can look at your multiplication table, copy them down until they have a number in common. Common denominators. All right, so let's change it. Set this equal to 12. Set this equal to 12. All right, and then ask yourself, 3 times what is 12? Giant 1. I just don't... Did they draw the giant 1 in 6th grade?
Yes. Yes.
6th grade? Wow, that was my attempt at drawing a giant 1. Woo!
So cool.
That's so cool.
Cute.
Beat that, 6th grade teachers. Yeah. But then some of my kids are like, oh no, they just draw like a line or something?
No, it's not balls.
A box or a 1? Okay. Yeah, look, this is Miss Benaventa's giant 1 right there. From 6th grade. Yeah, it's because sometimes kids are like, we didn't learn that. And then I'm like, yeah, you did. And then they're like, no, we didn't. And I'm like, look, she even has these, like, she's like the master at making these. Percents to fractions, fractions to percent. So, like, you guys did all of this with her last year. So, it's just, you know, she did it.
My notebook has carrots and words.
Okay, let's finish this one out. What's 2 times 4? 8, thank you. All right, the bottom. Now, 12 times what is 12? 1. So 12 times 1 is 12. So don't make a mistake and put another number there. It's just times 1. So 7 times 1 is 7. So the bottom fraction didn't change because we used that denominator. So this is the only reason it did not change, because we used the denominator. All right. 8 minus 7 is
1 over 12.
1 over 12. All right. Pretty good? All right. Can you guys start this one? Try to figure out the common denominator without yelling. Without yelling. You write it on your paper. Let's start that one before I do. Yes. So, yeah, list the numbers. 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3. This is the last one you're going to do it. This is the last one you're going to list it. I mean, we can list it forever if you want. This will become a little bit harder when I put negative in there. But is it still going to be the same work, like find the common denominator, change it? Yeah. Just the very last step is different.
No, but like, are you gonna do like more hard,
Like seventh grade math, like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
actual math.
But
Yes.
not like 6th grader math.
No, a lot of 7th grade builds on 6th grade. Like, we take what you learned in 6th grade and make it a little bit harder. My goal is to obviously make it look like it's the easiest thing in the world.
Do we do 8th grade work in this class?
We start like the basics. Again, build off. Okay, what's our common denominator? 20. Should you have gone 20 before I did? Yes, that was your goal, to get 20 before I wrote it down. All right, if you don't know how we got 20, we just started multiplying 4 and 5, right? 4. All right, and now ask yourself, 4 times what number equals 20? 5. So I'm going to multiply the top by 5. What's 3 times 5?
15.
15. 5 times what is 20? Times 4 times 4. What's 1 times 4? 4. Am I adding or subtracting? Adding. What's 15 plus 4?
9 over 20.
How many of you got that before I wrote it down?
I didn't write like the show work. I just did it fast and I just went on with it.
Wait, what?
Okay, very good. Great.
It's easy writing.
All right, on this side, I'm the one grading it, right? So here's what I'm going to be grading. They did the hard part for you. They found what they have in common. So they're telling you that 12 is what they have in common. So they did, in my opinion, the hardest part for us. Now you have to tell me, what do I multiply by? So what did you multiply? 3 times what number gives you 12? So I'm going to check that you wrote a 4 there, and then you wrote a 4 on top. That you're multiplying by 4, because 3 times 4 equals 12. So you're telling me that it's a 4. We're flipping that over so it doesn't distract us. What's 2 times 4?
12.
It's 8.
What's 2 times 4?
8.
8.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, you have your multiplication table right there for easy access, right? Okay, then at the bottom, 4 times what is 12? Times what? 4 times what is 12? 3. So we're going to write a 3 on the top. And then what's 1 times 3? All right, so that's the work I'm grading. Now we have to do the answer. What's 8 plus 3? 11 over 12. 11.
What the stop is 2? I thought so. My fault.
It's okay. It's okay. Glad you asked and you didn't ask later. Simplifying. We will do tomorrow. So if you know how to simplify, simplify as you go. If not, we'll come back to this and simplify tomorrow. Okay? Ready, set, go.